to look up the drag strip, the historic strip here in Indianapolis. The new tower, the original tower, used to be over on this side of the track. And they had another one down the track, and they've since taken it down as well. Here comes Tony Pedregon. Well, let's take a look at funny car standings as they are at this moment, with Matt Hagan #1, followed by Cap, Robert Hight, Cruz Pedregon, and John Force. Bob Tasca rounds out the top 8.
The bottom 8, we're going to pay attention to those bottom spots. Dell Worsham, Jeff Diehl is the bump spot with a 4:25 elapsed time. He's on the line with Tony Pedregon. We talked about Tony Pedregon not in the show.
Let's go to the stat guy as we look at the not qualified, including, as Mike said, Pedregon. Tony.
Well, Tony Pedregon has the longest active qualifying streak in funny car, 80 races in a row, tied with Ron Capps. He's only DNQ'd once at Indy. That was when he debuted in Top Fuel back in '93. With more on Tony, let's go to Dave Reeve.
He's 10th in points. Robert Hight came from 10th last year, but he's going to lose out here if he doesn't get in the show. Basically, the team has been too weak early, Mike, so when they pour the coals to the car down the racetrack, then they're weak and they end up going into shake and having problems. They got to be aggressive early on this run.
Tony Pedregon, a 2-time champion. No wins, though, at the Big Go. He has been #1 twice here in 2002 and 2008, and this may be the biggest run of his life because he's 10th in the points. He can't afford to give away anything. He can't afford to not make it in this field. The bump, 4:25.
Well, Tony Pedregon, he can drive the car. There's no question about that. But the question is he going to have the car to drive?
And will the track be there under him?
Look at that.
Well, he got down that track, a 4:15, and he has done it. Tony Pedregon is now in this field, and Dell Worsham is on the bump with a 4:15.
How about that? I mean, that's, you know, champions can always rise to the occasion, and Tony Pedregon, a 2-time full throttle champion. As I said, if he had the car, he was going to be able to drive it, and Mike Klober gave him the race car this time. As you talked about getting the car moving sooner, he had a good 60-foot. 905 60-foot is good, not great, so the car was moving pretty good early, and then when they started applying the power and the clutch to it, track conditions were there. They were 254 miles per hour at the 8th mile, capped it off with a 4:15 at 297 miles per hour. Good job to get him in the show.
And on that run, Tony Pedregon bumped out the car alongside of him, Jeff Diehl.